Whoa. What's happening, YouTube? Great Friday morning here in West Virginia. Man, it's like 70 degrees here today, guys. No kidding. It's just overcast, been raining about all night, which, man, we needed to rain. The lawns are burnt plumb up. I mean, golly. We're not used to no 90 degrees up here, and it's been in the high 80s and 90s and high humidity and everything, and now it's just all, seems like it's all cooled off. I mean, like overnight, it was just a cold front moved in here and brought some rain and all that kind of stuff, and now I have got to get this place cleaned up. I tried to get it cleaned up there a couple Saturdays ago, and that didn't happen. Had a family emergency, that kind of thing. So anyway, just wanted to show y'all some of this stuff and what's going on. Show you what I'm going to be doing today. This is the shop. Look at this mess. Man, I have been slammed all year, which no excuse for this. I mean, 2 engines laying under there. You know, just this whole shop is just so. Today, I'm not working on anything. I'm not touching a piece of equipment today. I'm not mowing today. I'm doing nothing but getting this mess I have created over the last 3 or 4 months cleaned up. It's got to the point, fellas, I can't even work in here. And this is my fault. But, you know, when you're busy and you got so much stuff going on, man, that's just the way it is. But here's the before picture of what it looks like. And I will show you the after picture. All right there, YouTube. Hey, here's the finished product. Finally got her cleaned up, man, straightened out. Might be able to actually get in here and do something. But just thought I'd give you a little look at this. Still got to go through my tools, get them organized back together like I like them. Everybody's got their own little way, you know. I reorganized the shelf there some. Guys, let me show you something right real quick for you guys out there that's just starting out and stuff like that. If you rebuild your carburetors in the wintertime, like if you take, in the summertime, when you're busy, you might not have time to do all that. You know, a lot of times I'll order like new carburetors or something like that. But what I try to do is, shoot, I'm brain dead today, guys. It is Saturday. But what I try to do is, in my slow time, in the wintertime, I'll rebuild up a bunch of carburetors. Order a bunch of kits for them, and just, you know, when you're not real busy. When you're real busy, like I said, in the summertime, you don't have time to do that. So sometimes you just order a new carburetor. You know, I mean, it is what it is. I don't know if I've explained this before or not, but this is how I do it. Is if you look at it and you think, well, if I take the time to rebuild a carburetor, the customer is basically going to pay the same amount if you buy a new carburetor or you rebuild one. Now, I'm not talking like your big high-end, you know, big V-twin carburetors and stuff like that, dual pleniums and stuff like that, because they're expensive. But on your weed eaters and chainsaws and, you know, little stuff, blowers, that kind of stuff, even some of your small, you know, push mowers and that kind of thing. If you just go ahead and buy a new carb, say that you're charging 40 bucks an hour. Carburetor costs you 20 bucks. Okay? It's only going to take you a half hour, or it shouldn't take you no more than a half hour, I'll put it to you that way, to switch out a carburetor. So you're charging the customer 20 bucks. All right, and the cost of the carburetor was 20 bucks. Well, that's 40. So if you take and you rebuild a carburetor, it's going to take you a little while. You know, I mean, you got to take that thing off. You're still going to have to put gaskets on it. I mean, no matter what, don't ever use the old gaskets if you put on a new carburetor. Don't be one of those guys, man. I mean, or, you know, one of those guys that takes a carburetor apart and you put it back on and you use the old gaskets. Just don't do that kind of stuff, man. You're mounting gaskets and stuff like that. Just put new gaskets on it, man. But either way it goes, customer's going to get $40, $45 bill. It doesn't matter, you know, what, how it goes. I mean, he's got $40 in a old carburetor, or he's got $40 in a new carburetor. It comes out to the same. But what I try to do is I try to rebuild my carburetors in the winter time when there's not a whole lot going on. I mean, we're still kind of busy, but not like we are, man, especially like spring rush. Good Lord. I mean, you just better have you a stock of carburetors on hand. And that's what I like about rebuilding them in the winter. You can take your carburetors, rebuild them, then you got them, label them, you know what they are, what they came off of. When you rebuild them, you should be able just to pop one off, pop another one back on, just gone out the door making money. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the more, you know, of course, the more equipment that you turn over, the more money you're going to make. So that's why that I rebuild my carburetors, and I'll show you here what I'm talking about. All these carburetors up here, not all of them, some of them are new. You'll see it says new Courage 19 carb. New Briggs 7.25 carb. Like at Tecumseh right there, rebuilt. That Steel right there, rebuilt. That Poland Pro, rebuilt. Rebuilt. That Predator right there is a new one. That one right there, I think that's a new one. But like I said, you know, Husqvarna 128 LD, that's a rebuilt carb. That's a new carb because it's still right there in the sticker. Now, if you take your old box, I mean your new box, and put your old carburetor in it, then it's already listed on there what it is. So, if you take your little inventory, that's what's coming up next. Oh, by the way, guys, I don't know if every state does this or not, but West Virginia has an inventory tax. So I have to go through and inventory every bit of this stuff, exactly what I've got, and then pay taxes on it. Ain't that ridiculous? But anyway, so that's why that I'm kind of barren right now, is because before January comes in, all this will be just about gone. I mean, they won't be enough here. If I can put it in a tote and put it in my garage, that's where it's going to go. But anyway, like I said, my carburetors are up there. Here's my 2-stroke oil, my Kinetics. Guys, this is some good oil right here. Yeah, I'll sell it, man. I'm not plugging it to sell it. I'm just telling you that that is some good oil right there. And I got some carbon choke cleaner. It's kind of funny how, if y'all have watched my videos in the past, you know, man, I do not like Stabil, however you say it, whatever. Different parts of the country, you're going to say it different. But that stuff right there, Stabil, as far as a fuel additive, is terrible. But I'd ordered some Briggs & Stratton carb cleaner. And guys, if you're opening a shop or you have a shop, you got to have carb cleaner. I mean, that's just, that's like basic 101 stuff. But I ordered this Briggs & Stratton, and it works good, but it's about $3 a can. So when I was looking on my distributor page, hey, they had this stuff on sale, carb cleaner, and it was made by Gold Eagle. And I thought, well, I ain't never used it. Shoot, I'll try it. Guess what, guys? Stabil, Gold Eagle. So I got 2 cases of Stabil carb cleaner, and I was like, oh no. But let me show you this. This is why that it was on sale and why it was a little bit cheaper. Look at the size of the cans. Yeah. So next time I know just to stick with the Briggs & Stratton carb cleaner, which is probably the same stuff. But anyway, down here I got some air filters. It's a whole thing of weed eater string I throwed up there. Just I'm going to get rid of that. Put it on the truck and use it up. But anyway, spark plugs, fuel filters. As you see, man, I don't have many of those fuel filters left. Or oil filters. I only got 2, so I'm kind of down on those right now. And this one says something used in here. I don't know what's used in here, but something is. It says it's carburetor, but I don't think there's a carburetor in there, is there? Yep, sure is. That goes on the top. My bad. But that is a used carburetor. I think that's that 5 horsepower Briggs, like the old push motors, little plastic deal goes on top of the tank. This right here, guys, I found this. I'd actually ordered one of these because I didn't think that I had one. This is a Kohler valve cover gasket. Guys, if you don't, there's the part number and everything. That's what it cost, $15.95. I'm not a Kohler dealer, so I don't really get my Kohler stuff any cheaper than anybody else. I can buy some knockoff crap, but I try not to do that either. Dude, fellas, if y'all don't have any of these in stock and you're a small engine repair, you might as well just go ahead and order you about 5 of those at least right off the bat. Because, I mean, those Courage engines, man, with those valve covers in the front that looks like a V, man, they are constantly going out. I mean, they leak, and the bad thing is, I had one come in here this year that was actually caught on fire because the oil was dripping. It drips right down on the exhaust on them riding mowers. But anyway, I've got some new exhaust down here where I had ordered new engines and stuff, and for some reason Briggs always sends, it don't matter what, like 19 horsepowers, 18 and a halves and stuff like that. They always put that exhaust on them right there. And I don't know why they don't give you the exhaust that goes underneath, but they don't. But I got some deck parts down here. And the guys on your pulleys, I'm going to show you this too. These pulleys, some of them are different sizes. And see, like this little one right here, it's a little bit smaller than the one underneath it. These are just old used pulleys, but the bearings and stuff are still good. Like in these, the bearings are still real good. It's not, I spray those down with Deep Creep, keep them lubed up. Some extra nuts and things like that goes on top, you know, spindle housing. This big old piece right here, this metal piece here, is off a deck. That's actually your arm that holds your idler pulleys and stuff like that on it. Just little things like that. A transmission for a front wheel drive lawnmower. I try to keep all this kind of stuff, guys, you know, because there comes a day, man, to where, yeah, you're going to need it. Actually, this needs to go out. This was a steering shaft that was stripped out. Had to replace that. That's fun, let me tell you. Anyway, I wanted to show you this over here. Now, this is what I've got that's getting ready to go to the scrap yard. I got to go through all this stuff, pull parts off of it. Look at that. This is one season, guys. This is one, I mean, the season's not quite over, but it's winding down. But look at this mess. Look at this, man. One season. And yeah, stuff like that right there, you know, that's still a good looking little mower. I've got a ring set in there over the winter time. I'll take and I'll put rings in that thing. This pressure washer right here, the pump is shot. So what am I going to do? I'm going to pull the engine off of it because the engine still runs. It's a good running little engine, and you never know, somebody might need one. So I'll freshen that engine up there a little bit, make sure she runs good, and put it on the shelf. That little Murray right there with that 3.5 horsepower Briggs. No, I'm not going to rebuild that engine, but I am going to take a bunch of parts off that engine. And the reason being is that those parts are hard to find. That little 3.5 horsepower, well, I can't really say they're hard to find. I mean, you can get them, but they're not like what you think. I mean, my distributor, you know, they've slowed down. There's some of these parts for anything under a 5 horsepower Briggs now, they're not even making anymore. So there's another little 3.5 horsepower, you know, and you know, really like this one here, the rings are shot in it. They don't have any compression left. Well, if need be, if I needed to, I could probably take the rings out of that one because it still has good compression and put in that one. I mean, just little stuff like that, you know. I mean, guys, you got to make money any way you can. I'll go through all these weed eaters, and I'll pull some gas tanks off. I'll pull some carburetors off of them. All these shafts with these heads, all of them will come off. Those will go in a box. You know, little things like that. You know, like right here, I think, what is that, a Husky? Yes, here's a Husqvarna. That's a Husqvarna 4-stroke right there. And so that's a 128 CD. So the carburetor on that thing will fit an LD. So pull the carb off, rebuild it. You got it sitting in there. These Polands, man, they ain't worth much. That chainsaw right there, I think it's got a new carburetor on it. The guy who brought it over here put a new carb on it and still couldn't get it to work. Of course, most homeowners don't have a compression gauge. and it was shot, so it's gone. That's mine. This one here's a customer's that I'm working on now. This one is mine. That one's mine. That one's mine. The old deck with them deck parts on it's mine, which I'll scrap it. That one's mine. The tiller's mine, which the tiller, that's a good tiller. All this other stuff, the tractor and stuff like that, that's all my stuff. So, guys, this is what I'm saying. This is the time of year, I mean, I don't know what part of the country you're in, but this is the time of year when things start to fall off. Just don't lay at the house, man. Oh, that one right there is mine, too. Those 2 generators are mine. This is just stuff that I'm pulling parts off of. You know, that's what I'm going to start doing is pulling parts. And start pulling these parts and rebuild what I can and put up what I can. You know, I've got another building down there I can put parts in over the winter time so that, you know, my shop's not like it got this time. But guys, this is the kind of stuff you do when you get slow. This is, you know, you just can't lay at the house. You got to be one step ahead of the game, man. Stay one step ahead of the game at all times. Think about what you need. Like I said, I think I've in other videos and stuff I've put out there that, you know, you need to, like, go to your big box stores. Go to your Home Depots and your Lowe's and your Walmart. Look what engines are going on those mowers. Because if those mowers are, you know, if they're all running Briggs and Stratton or they're pushing Kohler this year or whatever, those are the parts that you're going to need, guys, you know. Oh, I didn't show you that, I don't think. Got a log splitter sitting over there. I'm waiting on parts for it. But, yep, that's where we're at right now, fellas, with C&L. I mean, the grass has slowed down. It's not growing. You know, the everything's just not real busy right now. So, anyway, just thought I'd let y'all share that with you, man. Let you look at it and see what you think. Give you some advice there, what I've learned. Stay one step ahead of the game, fellas. C&L is out, and like we always close all our videos, don't matter what you do, do it for the glory of God. We'll see y'all later.